On the news, Tinubu condemns bomb blasts in Borno State. Nigeria Air Force unmanned aerial vehicle crashes in Kaduna. And Rivers State Electoral Commission fixes October 5, 2024 date for local government polls. Thank you for joining us on News Now. I'm Simisola Ajgun. President Bola Tinubu has condemned Saturday's suicide bomb blast in Borno State, describing them as desperate acts of terror and a clear manifestation of the pressure mounted against terrorists and the success achieved in degrading their capacity to launch offensives. At least 18 people have been confirmed dead in the blast carried out by female suicide bombers who targeted a wedding, a funeral, and a hospital in coordinated attacks. The Director General of the Borno State Emergency Management Agency, Barkindo Saidu, further informed that at least 30 others sustained varying degrees of injuries, including abdominal ruptures and skull fractures. Tinubu maintained that his administration is taking necessary measures to secure citizens. In its response to the attack, the United States mission in Nigeria says it would be working with the government to bring the perpetrators of the violence to justice. The Nigeria Air Force has clarified that its unmanned aerial vehicle experienced a mishap after takeoff for a mission which caused a crash at a location near Rumji village, about 15 kilometers from base in Kaduna State. This is contrary to reports that a NAF helicopter had crashed in Kaduna in the early hours of Monday, July 1, 2024. The NAF Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Vice Marshal Edward Gapquet, confirmed the incident, saying there were no casualties. He added that preliminary investigation has since commenced to ascertain the cause of the crash of the drone. Amid current political crisis in Rivers, the State Independent Electoral Commission has announced October 5 for the conduct of the local government elections in the state. Chairman of the commission, Adolphus Enebeli, announced this on Monday during a stakeholders meeting in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital. The announcement comes shortly after the appointment of caretaker committee chairman by Governor Siminalayi Fubara into the 23 local government areas of the state, following the expiration of the tenure of the former council chairman on July 17. The council chairman, however, insists that an amendment of the Rivers State Local Government Act enacted by the Martins Amerile-led House of Assembly has extended their tenure by 6 months. The case is still in court. Responding to this development, legal expert Evans Ofeli says the conduct of the election will officially end the tenure of the former chairman.
They can no longer sustain that argument that their tenure has not expired because a court of law has abrogated that argument and have said that their tenure has expired by a function of time. So the announcement made by the body responsible for the conduct election at the local government have made an announcement for October. And that announcement is in line with also the outcome of the judgment of Justice Omotosho that have delivered a judgment a long time ago that they should go and conduct election 90 days after that judgment was delivered. Then, so it is better late than never. That is what they ought to have done in the first place. And if they have done that, the argument of tenure elongation will not have arisen because it would have meant that they would have conducted the election already, and that by now we should be talking about swearing in those who came out successful, and not a caretaker committee, which is an aberration. So the state government itself didn't do well by not complying with the order of the Justice Omotosho's judgment at the time. The governor had complied with that judgment, we wouldn't have been in this conflagration. It would have been avoided and averted. But you know, politicians, with the way they go about things, that judgment was delivered and ignored more like content. They didn't, do what they ought to have done. And that is why when people call on the judiciary all the time as a problem of society, I say I disagree. The politicians are, because the courts have always looked for ways to resolve disputes, political and otherwise, to ensure that society continues in peace and harmony. But the politicians, either they are not listening, or they are deliberately frustrating the orders of court, or they are creating problems to harm their opponents, and they destabilize the natural running of things in society.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has inducted 10 new residential electoral commissioners into the election body. Leading the induction ceremony in Lagos, the chairman of the commission, Mahmood Yakubu, urged the new regs to commit to ensuring credible elections in Nigeria and brace up for the task ahead. TV360's Victoria Konde has the rest of the story.
Senior officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission from across the nation gathered in this hall for the induction of the 10 newly appointed resident electoral commissioners. The event was literally to acquaint them with the roles, the Electoral Act, and the legal framework for conducting elections.
This platform affords everyone an opportunity for continuous learning, growth, and collaboration. I have no scintilla of doubt in my mind that this retreat will introduce us to shared experiences, new insights, and also acquaint us with or reinforce our knowledge of INEC's values and culture with the ultimate aim of enhancing our electoral management processes.
The chairman of INEC, Mahmood Yakubu, on his part, urged the newly inducted resident electoral commissioners to commit to quality service delivery by upholding the ideals of credible elections in Nigeria.
It is an opportunity to review performance, reappraise processes, discuss innovations, engage service providers, interface with lawmakers on critical areas of reform, and explore new frontiers in our continuous effort to improve organizational capacity of the Commission for better service delivery.
The chairman also highlighted the upcoming elections, saying there is no specific election season in Nigeria.
Elections are held all year round, in addition to numerous electoral activities, such as voter registration. Even today's retreat is holding against the background of forthcoming governorship elections in Edo State in the next 81 days, and Ondo State in 137 days. In addition, there are 5 pending by-elections for Babura Garki Federal Constituency of Jigawa State and 4 state constituencies.
Also speaking at the event, the country director of the International Foundation for Electoral Systems, Serai Jah, commended INEC for appointing experienced individuals which he believes will ease electoral administration.
With the INEC, we've worked extensively in providing technical support in the areas of capacity building, training, and some innovations. So I want to also appreciate the current commission, particularly the chairman and his commissioners, for the continued partnership with the International Foundation for Electoral Systems in Nigeria. And I want to reassert our continued support in advancing the aspiration of this commission, but also the aspiration of the donors that support us to do this work.
As INEC continues to prioritize electoral reforms and quality service delivery, the induction of these new resident electoral commissioners is expected to bring about credible elections in Nigeria. Victoria Akonde, TV360, Lagos.
A federal high court in Abuja has dismissed a lawsuit filed by the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, in which he sought 1 billion naira in damages for alleged rights violation. Kanu claimed that the Department of State Services (DSS) and its Director General violated his rights to a fair hearing by allegedly preventing his lawyers from having unrestricted interactions with him during his detention, which impeded his defense preparation in his criminal trial. In the judgment delivered on Monday, Justice James Omotosho ruled that Kanu did not provide credible evidence to support his claims. We'll take a break here, but coming up, Kenya President Ruto says government to borrow more after withdrawal of new taxes. Stay with us for details.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the GoTour app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other Paper Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
When you go into public office, you must be ready to answer to the people.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On Digi 360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
Digi 360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. Here's a quick recap of our top stories. President Bola Tinubu has condemned Saturday's suicide bomb blast in Borno State, describing them as desperate acts of terror and a clear manifestation of the pressure mounted against terrorists and the success achieved in degrading their capacity to launch offensives. At least 18 people have been confirmed dead in the blasts carried out by female suicide bombers who targeted a wedding, a funeral, and a hospital in coordinated attacks. The president maintained his administration is taking necessary measures to secure citizens. We also told you that the Nigeria Air Force has clarified that its unmanned aerial vehicle experienced a mishap after takeoff for a mission that caused a crash at a location near Rumji village, about 15 kilometers from base in Kaduna State. This is contrary to reports that a NAF helicopter had crashed in Kaduna in the early hours of Monday, July 1, 2024. The NAF Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Vice Marshal Edward Gapquet, confirmed the incident, saying there were no casualties. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletins, for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're TV360 Online.
Corruption not in my country.
Hello, Alhaji. Right now I'm in Abuja. No. Hello, Adamu. Right now I'm in Kano. Yes. When I get back, I'll just call you.
Look, what is wrong with you? I'm talking on the phone and you are gesticulating and doing. What's wrong with you?
Daddy, where exactly are we as we speak?
Are you alright? This is Lagos.
Well, you just lied to someone that we're in Abuja.
Keep quiet. Who told you you can tell an elderly person is lying?
Daddy, you just lied. And by lying, you are raising corrupt children for the future of Nigeria. That is corruption, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Well, let's now turn to Joy Uchejim for the latest in the world of business. What's the latest, Joy?
Thank you, Simi, and welcome to Business News. The federal government has disbursed the total sum of 27.2 billion naira within April and June 2024 of the 50 billion naira grants earmarked for nano businesses under the Trade Grant Initiative. Data from the Presidential Conditional Grant Scheme portal captures the number of beneficiaries who have received the 50,000 naira grant for their nano businesses across the 774 local government areas. As of June 30th, 2024, about 545,830 individuals have benefited from the scheme within the 3-month time frame. The scheme began in April 2024, is aimed at reaching 1 million beneficiaries across all local government areas in the country. Still on business, as part of measures to ensure compliance with banking sector recapitalization guidelines, the Securities and Exchange Commission has threatened to impose a 1 million naira penalty on banks if they fail to submit complete capital raise applications. In a statement made available to newsmen, detailed that banks must adhere to certain norms and procedures to acquire capital by right issuance, private placements, or other authorized means. The SEC further explained that the initiative is part of the Central Bank of Nigeria's directive for banks to raise additional capital, which is essential for navigating economic challenges and achieving a $1 trillion economy by 2030. We'll take a short break and return with stock market reports. Welcome back. Nigeria's stock market had recorded a bearish close on the first trading day of the month of July. The market fell by 0.04%, finally reaching the 100,000 basis point benchmark. Now on the losing side, eTranzact International came out last with an end-of-day price depreciation of 10% at 4 naira 50 kobo, followed by Fidsin Healthcare, which closed the day at 13 naira 50 kobo. Now, at the end of the first weekday of trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange market, a total of 274 million volumes of shares were exchanged in 10,112 deals, corresponding to a market value of 3.7 billion naira. Now, for our foreign equities, London's FTSE began the week on a steady note on Monday, supported by house builders and precious metal miners, leading to the bullish close for the day. Japan's Nikkei and US Dow Jones also had a good run for the day to close at 0.13% and 0.12% respectively. Now let's take a quick look at our foreign exchange market. The dollar traded at 1,510 naira on the black market. The Great British Pounds traded at 1,900 naira on the black market, and the euros traded at 1,600 naira on the black market. That's Noble Business and Stock Market Report. Simi, back to you for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Joy. And on the foreign scene, India has implemented an overhaul of colonial-era criminal laws, praised as watershed movement by a top judge. The three overhauled laws, which are the Penal Code and codes relating to criminal procedure and evidence, were passed last year during India's previous parliament, but only came into effect on Monday. India's Interior Minister says the codes will help the country become the world's most modern justice delivery system. Still on the foreign scene, Kenya's President William Ruto says the country will have to borrow more to keep the government running, following the rejection of a hugely unpopular finance bill that was going to raise more money in taxes. The president announced withdrawal of the bill containing controversial tax hikes last Wednesday after a deadly protest which saw Parliament set on fire. On Sunday, Ruto said dropping the bill had set the country back 2 years as he explained the difficulty of being unable to raise extra taxes while facing a huge debt burden. Well, up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
Prominent Nigerian actor Olu Jacobs has refuted widespread allegations of his death. In a video released by his family, Jacobs, who was having difficulty speaking, called the reports false. In the footage, the frail-looking actor was having his hair cut by his son, where he said in quotes, "It's a lie, I'm alive." Speaking further, the son said the family will be going to Ikoyi Club later in the day. It was widely reported that Olu Jacobs died on Sunday, but his family and the Actors Guild of Nigeria has denied the claims. The Nollywood actor had been reported dead several times in the past few years. And that's it on Entertainment News on News Now. Joy Uchejum, TV360, Lagos.
And on sports, Australian Open champion and world number 3 Aryna Sabalenka has withdrawn from Wimbledon due to a shoulder injury, tournament organizers announced on Monday. The 26-year-old had hinted over the weekend that she may be forced to pull out after suffering the injury at the recent Berlin tournament. The Australian Open champion was due to play American Emina Bektas in the second match on court 1 on the opening day of the tournament. Still on sports, UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Volker Turk says athletes who speak out for equality or denounce abuses in their sport often do so at great personal risk and must be given the same protection as all other defenders of human rights. The UN Human Rights Chief disclosed this during the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva on a panel alongside President of the International Olympic Committee Thomas Bach on human rights and the Olympics ahead of the Paris Summer Games. Turk added that the athletes should be given of avenues to speak out and seek redress safely and without fear of reprisals. Paris will host the Olympics from July 26th to August 11th and the Paralympic Games from August 28th to September the 8th. Well, that's all on News Now. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next time.